Hey guys, welcome back to The Outlet Talk. I'm your host, Kayla.
And I'm your co-host, June.
And today, guys, we have a special guest here with us. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, so my name is Dika.
And tell us a little bit about yourself.
A little bit about me. I'm currently a student. I study psychology and political science.
Ooh.
So we're either going to do law school or med school afterwards.
Awesome.
Don't know. I like to write poetry.
That's real.
You know, stories, so on and so forth. And I also like to design, like, pieces of clothing and things.
Interesting.
So, tap in with me.
What?
I'm gonna have to tap in for sure, man. Tell the people they can find you, man, on Instagram.
Y'all can follow me on Instagram. It is I am Aika Ennis. That's spelled I am and then AIKAENIS.
Okay,
Interesting. Okay. But your name's Dika.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's basically my name, Dika Dennis without the D's.
Oh, okay.
What your friends call you, like? You feel me?
They call me Dika.
Really?
Dika, you don't got no nickname, no nothing?
No.
Okay, DD for sure.
I go by the baddest sometimes.
Period.
You know.
Period. I like that one. He goes as him.
Yeah, me.
Right.
Okay.
Timothy.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So we have a little icebreaker always at the beginning of the show.
Okay.
Today's icebreaker is: what is your biggest fear? Anybody can go first.
I'll take off, I know I'm the only guy in the video.
Go ahead.
Y'all tap into the last video because I said this in the last video. My biggest fear, as far as like overall, like not petty things, but like overall, like just being unsuccessful and where I want to be in life, and just being a bum, bro. Like, cause I got so much potential. I'm smart. I got so much going on. And for me to just get that up and just be nothing, that's crazy. That's scary.
Yeah.
For sure. What you feel like your biggest fear is?
Truthfully, I think my only like fear for real is like being out of alignment with like what God has for me.
Okay.
And then like going to hell.
Yes.
That's about it.
No, that's legit. That is really legit.
I'm really a type of like a YOLO type of person. But other than that,
You're like, that's the biggest fear.
Okay.
My biggest fear, one is being broke. I'm very scared of being broke. And then also, I'm scared of tiny holes. So trypophobia, like them tiny, like a cluster of tiny holes that freaks me out. And then kind of like what you said, like just not fulfilling my purpose, not fulfilling what I was put on this earth to do. Like, that's really scary. And you brought a point like hell, like yo.
Hey yo.
however that looks like.
What exactly?
Okay.
Fire or not, I just don't want it. Regardless, hell is described as a place without God's presence, and I'm just like, I don't know
Without
how.
peace, without love.
Exactly, it would be
For alternative.
Exactly.
Y'all would. That's endless, bro.
Exactly.
I don't want no smoke for sure.
because it's like they're polar opposites. So like hell is a place without God's presence, and so you're experiencing everything that you had on earth 10 times over because God's not there to help you.
Exactly.
You don't have no comforting, like that comforting warmth that you get when you're like praying and you're crying to God, right? Like you're not gonna get that. So you're gonna be crying and no one's comforting you. Like that's scary to me. And then like heaven is like polar opposite of what hell is. Like you're straight peace, don't experience sadness, no pain. There's gonna be glory. Like that sounds so beautiful. So it's like, Lord, you hear me, like please, like but we're gonna go ahead and jump right into the topic.
Okay.
So today we're talking about healing, guys. This is a really big and an important thing that I feel like everyone should take a moment to dissect that topic and even do your own personal research, because I know everybody's healing journey looks different. So what we're going to talk about on this episode, disclaimer, we're not professionals and going to diagnose anyone or give you guys like a 1, 2, 3 and that this is going to be the way for you to be healed and whatnot. It's personal. It's our personal experiences. We're just going to share it to give everyone like a point of view. So for starters, I would like to first define what the word healing is. So I'm going to ask you guys, what does healing mean, and what does that look like, or what does it mean to you? Healing.
I'm gonna take this one.
I
Take that one.
actually Googled what healing right when I was outside, so let me like see what it means. But it basically aligned with what I was saying, and it said going back to like your original version of health. And like to me, healing is like not really like learning new things, but basically unlearning what we've learned.
Yeah.
To like going back to our original like creation.
Yeah.
Before like any hurt,
Yes.
trauma or pain.
Mhm.
So on and so forth.
I like that.
So,
I like that. I would piggyback off what you said. Healing is also like a sense of balance in your life, right? So before, when you're experiencing hurt and pain, all that, you're not balanced. You're worried about, this person cheating on you, or this person, or just not even, if it's not even romantic, just platonic friendships, right? Like we don't give our all because we're trying to shield ourselves, whatever your trauma may be. But healing looks like just going back to, like you said, what we were created to be, our like original self without all those things. So that innocence, that baby-like heart, that baby-like aura, that baby-like spirit. And then you're balanced, like you're able to utilize what you've gone through and not allow it to rule your life, but you're ruling it. So you're using it as, like you're cautious, but you're not allowing that to rob you of experiencing your life or your, I guess, like the things that you do, not letting it rob you of the joys, of the pure happiness, all those other things. So that's what I feel like healing means to me. What about you?
I want to agree to disagree. Not saying y'all wrong in any form of way.
Of course.
Like, I want to say like healing is more of using that hurt, that trauma, to like better yourself, to clean yourself up. Not saying y'all wrong for like going. I don't believe that we could go back to that innocence. Mm-hmm. That's my point of view. Mm-hmm. But I feel like we could take that hurt, that trauma, understand and learn from it, take it as a lesson, and move forward in life without being bitter. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Yeah. And people like to, you feel me, get hurt and then hurt somebody else in the sense that you're not finna come to my life and ruin my life because I done been through that. But I feel like if you learn from that, understand the red flags, and you just kind of like know who to allow in your space and not to, but not like in a rude way, like you can't talk to me because I've been hurt before. Like that's crazy. But like you like, y'all get what I'm saying? Like just
boundary setting.
Yeah.
Yes. No, definitely. That is the key to life. Setting boundaries. No, but what you said is true because essentially, yes, we can't go back to what we were, right? Unscathed. No one leaves this earth unscathed.
For sure.
Like we are going to leave this earth with some scars, right? Mm-hmm. But we can still make them beautiful, right? Like we can still be beautiful people. We can still be loving people. It's like, for example, like just with art, right? Nowadays, like you could look at it if you had no, like, I guess, interest in art. Some people look at paintings and like, wow, this thing is like really ugly. Like just, like just a random paint brushes things. But there's people who find the beauty in that. So I feel like in that we can relate with our own life. Like all of us, we look like that canvas with the random
beautiful mess.
Yes, exactly. Like we're beautifully like broken.
Pull that.
Right? We said it here first. But yeah, so to even like expand on healing, right? There's different types of healing. So how do you guys feel like, or what did healing look like for you in your personal life? How did that look like?
I ain't gonna lie. I had like one real trauma in my life, and I was losing my old girl. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I was young in high school, and like growing up, like in a Haitian household, your mom used to be like your guidance type. You feel me? In the sense of like you're doing bad in school, you'll tighten up. Like you feel me? In their own little way, you do. Mm-hmm. And when that was gone, like the world opened to me. I have all the freedom in the world. That can necessarily be a good thing or a bad thing, but at that point in time, I needed that guidance. I'm young. I'm in high school, still trying to figure things out. So to leave me free, I just got lost. I lost my grades, all type of stuff. Stopped playing ball, all type of crazy stuff. And that healing process, well, it took me to really understand like my old girl not coming back. Mm-hmm. My old girl not coming back. So it's up to me like to really like tighten up, or I'm finna just be what my biggest fear is, like a bum, like just and it took me growing up, maturing, understand what the real world is to like really like settle down and understand like, all right, there's a bigger picture here. Yes, she's not here to guide me, but she's still watching over me and stuff like that. So it took a little process. I'm still healing from that, but I feel like that's what my process looked like. Just understanding that just because she's not here don't mean I gotta go do crazy stuff. I can really just like do it for her. She's still looking, you feel me? So that's for sure. That's my healing process.
That was beautiful. Go ahead, gradually.
I don't even talk about feelings.
Oh, please.
The outlet nigga come out of it. Okay, talk to me.
Healing for me looked like a series of like a whole bunch of things.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's different like levels to healing. There's different types of healing, and sometimes like during my healing season, it's like I'm healing from stuff I didn't even think like I need to be like healed from. Like you were saying earlier, how trauma is not like the event itself, but how you like process things.
Okay.
And it's like when I like came to the realization, okay, this is my healing process. It started off as like emotional healing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm heartbroken because this happened, but then I had to like you have to ask yourself questions like, okay, you're heartbroken because this happened, but what feelings are like lying underneath that anger, that sadness, and then why? So it's just like a connecting the dots and then connecting the dots and what you're doing with this picture. Next thing, it's another project. So it looked like a lot to go like to summarize it, but it was cool, emotional.
Yes, that's you said something that's really important. I think we need to emphasize that and normalize it. Is that our healing journey is emotional. You're not going to be, because I understand social media and their attempts to try to make healing, seem beautiful, but it's really not. Exactly, right? It's not aesthetics, because quite frankly, when I was healing, because I went to therapy 2 years ago. This was like just to give like a little bit backstory. This was 2020. Pandemic happened, right? Everything shut down, so I didn't have an escape. Because I did not like being home, because I feel like that's where darkness met me. Mm-hmm. Like that's where sadness, depression, all of it, anxiety met me, was in my room. So I was like, no, I need to be out. I need to be out and about. Then COVID happened. And I'm just like, so where's my outlet? Because I'm used to not being home. Mm-hmm. I was in everything, God knows what. Like even like, and it kind of like goes a little bit into my high school too, and I realized that like my most successful moments, I was the most depressed. I was a high functioning depressed person. So on the outside looking in, everyone's just like, you're doing great, like good job. And I'm just like, you guys are cheering on my sadness. I'm on the edge and you're cheering me on. So it like did something to me on the inside, because it's just like, wow, like you guys don't even know, like I'm actually dying inside. I don't feel anything. I'm numb. And so then that's like senior year, that's 2019. I graduate, 2020 happens, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have no outlet. I don't think I'm going to make it to 2021 if I don't get help. Mm-hmm. And so then I'm just like, you know what, let me seek some help. So I started like, looking for a therapist, and no one talks about looking for a therapist. That's the hardest part too, because you have to understand. Luckily, my first stop, I was like, okay, I'm gonna hit this person and we're gonna run with it. Like she was great. I love my therapist. But some people do have, they don't connect with their therapist on first beat, and that's also something that's okay. Like you find that therapist until you're like, you guys are like this. Because I feel like me and my therapist were like best friends. Like I'm like, girl, like this is what happened at 17. Like, but it took me quickly to connect with her. Mm-hmm. And luckily on the first try when I met her and like we sat down, we had a conversation, I was able to just vibe with her. But our whole entire, because it's 2 years that I've been in therapy, and literally I had a breakthrough last year, like ending of last year. Mind you, last year was 2022. Right. So I was in therapy for 2 years before I had an actual breakthrough. And my issue was just crying. Like I didn't really cry. And if you saw me crying, like no, like something was real wrong. Like it was really bad. So I wasn't one to cry. And so we were in a session, and I remember like my therapist telling me like, her goal is to just give me the space to feel comfortable to cry. And I went 2 years without crying in therapy until finally I had a breakthrough last year, and I was just like, oh my God, wow. That like after you're just like, oh my God, I needed that. But in the moment, that is what healing looks like. Like you're confronting that demon, you're confronting the very thing that you're scared of, and you're just facing it head on. And it wasn't beautiful at all. It took 2 years to get there. And for everybody, their healing journey is different. Sometimes it takes 2 weeks, sometimes it takes 2 months, sometimes it takes 2 years. For me, it took 2 years. Like, and when I say people are like, what? I'm like, I couldn't cry. Like I could not cry.
I don't cry.
Like, what is that? I don't cry. And even to this day, like now I find myself like, I watched this show called From Scratch. bawling. I was bawling, but had
like, do you cry often now? Because I used to be the same way. I don't cry. My friends crying over stuff. I'm like, bro,
wipe your eyes.
it's not that serious. Like, relax now.
Literally, everything.
I'm watching a movie. I'm going to cry.
Yes, the littlest thing that like bring emotion. Like if they're emotional in the scene, and especially if they do a really good job portraying that, ooh, the waterworks. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to be an actor because the way I'm able to just cry now. What? Play something sad, I'm gonna cry. So like that was what my healing journey looked like, and like you said, like a mess. It's just a mess. It's a lot of things.
You guys cried
yesterday.
Was it like a good cry or?
I don't even got no date on mine. I don't like.
See, you're gonna get
I
there
don't
though.
cry for it. Like I cry. Don't get me wrong. I'm not one of them guys that be like, oh, don't cry. Like I'm not finna cry in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
But like, there's only one thing that ever made me cry for us.
Mm-hmm. So did you cry yesterday? Or no?
No, I did not cry yesterday.
So it's just me. Awesome.
Yeah, you're by yourself. You definitely cried. When the last time you cried?
I'm gonna say like earlier this week.
Yeah, she was with you. Yesterday.
But I wasn't like sad or nothing. Like it was like good tears,
Yeah.
like joyful tears.
Oh, that's good.
You're just overwhelmed. Yeah.
I cried. Mine were hurtful tears, but I feel like it's okay. I feel like I need to. I'm in a place where I'm getting comfortable with it, right? Mm-hmm. So like, if I feel the urge to cry, I just let it loose. I just allow myself to cry, because before I'd like, pinch myself or bite my tongue, like, no, keep it in. You're not gonna cry. But now I'm allowing myself to just let it go. And when I do that, now I'm able to actually move on quicker. Like my healing process, when things happen to me, I'm able to move on quicker than before, because I would go on and I'd hold it in. I'd go on the whole entire year without realizing I'm holding this on my back.
Then that's adding layers now.
Exactly.
Like you add layers, like she said earlier. Like now we talking, you think you over it because you know, okay, I finally done cried, but then you ain't realized the whole year you done been all the other holding back. You feel me? So now you done add layers. Now you gotta get through them layers, and then it's too much to go through by yourself.
Yeah, and then you start treating people how you
treat yourself.
Exactly.
That's why I used to tell people like, why are you crying? Because I would ask myself, why are you crying?
Exactly. So you treat people how you treat yourself. Yeah. And so then when I started showing myself grace, when I started showing myself love and extending that to myself, then now I become comfortable with myself, and that's when my healing journey began.
Yes.
It did not start until I became comfortable with allowing and showing myself grace. Like, you were not equipped with the right tools to, process these emotions. So it's okay that you're, 20 something now, and you're now feeling, emotions. Like, that's okay. Because I'm my biggest critic. Like, what? When I tell you, I roast myself before anybody else gets the chance to roast me. So people say stuff to me, I'm just like, listen, I said words.
I saw myself already.
I'm like, thank you, but I realize that it's warning. Thank you. But so I'm my toughest critic. So I just had to stop talking to myself like that, because also too, how you talk to yourself inside. Now, when other people talk to you that way, you're kind of gonna accept it in a way, because you talk to yourself like, you're like, you know what, you kind of, and then it's a trauma bond and just a whole bunch of stuff that I'm just like, guys, just start the healing journey, because like it's to the point where I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna get in another relationship until I get a signed letter by your therapist that it's okay to talk to you, because
I need to go to therapy. I'll try it out.
Definitely do it. Like, what I have, everybody.
I'm not running away from nothing.
Right.
Therapy for 2023?
Nah.
I'm telling you, I can't wait, because I'm gonna get a sign. I will dead at the end of the road and be like,
therapy was free, I'll go.
So check me out, right? So I actually am partners with BetterHelp, and I have a code that you can use to get percentage off. It's a discount. It's something. It's better than nothing. It's something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something. So honestly, like, for real, anybody who needs therapy, hit my line. I got the code. In fact, I'll just drop it in the description box, because
like a continuous code, like anybody can use it.
Anybody can use it.
Wow.
Yeah, you see?
Now you go to therapy.
Oh. Now you like, don't let me fool y'all, bro. Like, for real, like, I'm not finna go, but you can go. You can go for real, like, you feel me? That baby son that, you feel me, you need. I have my healing place.
Exactly.
I said, what if it's people looking up to
We're not the same. Like, you looking at me, I appreciate you.
Oh, wow.
You gotta understand, your journey and my journey may not align. So if therapy, you could try it out. I've tried it out.
When?
With my girl.
He's trying to admit it.
He's like, all right, I did with her already. But I'm always, that's the thing, like, people would start getting, like, would get annoyed with me because I'm always trying to dig deep. And then I had to learn boundaries, too. Like
don't get me wrong,
I
bro.
can't break it.
I'm not
I'm
scared.
ready to ask you so.
I'm not scared to dig deep. Like, if you talk to me right now, like, not even on camera, like, off camera, and you ask me, I would tell you. No, I have never put
I was just like, why didn't you answer me that?
I have to finish my first sentence.
Yeah, I was like, wait, Julie, just say it.
Nah, I got nobody's chill.
Facts, no bodies, none. We
For
talk
sure.
about it. Zero.
You're righteous people.
I don't want to see no teardrops, none. I'm tired.
We don't judge if you have, though.
Yeah, facts. If you have, honestly, God loves you. He still loves you. Still repent, though. Don't do it again.
It's time to go to therapy.
Repent. Repent. Don't do it again. Please, for the love of God, repent. Alright.
Talk to me.
Alright, so I also wanted to dig deep into how like there's different types of healing. You mentioned how you experienced emotional healing.
Mm-hmm.
There's also spiritual healing and physical healing.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, every year I've gone through one type of healing. So 2020 was, I guess you could say like a spiritual healing. 2020, no, I lied. Because I started therapy end of 2020. 2021 was emotional healing. 2022 was physical healing.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2023, which is this year, is spiritual healing for me. So how I know they're all different is because physical healing for me last year was literally cleansing my body.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that there was a connection between what happens inside, like how you feel inside, and how it will present itself in the physical.
Mm-hmm.
At my old church, my pastor did say how like anything that happens in the physical realm happened in the spiritual realm first. So if you're experiencing, some kind of health issues, not to say that it's always like attached to a spirit. I don't want to be that person, but dig deep to see why. It's actually proven like people who are stressed out, have anxiety, a lot of things like later on, and it's for a prolonged time, they end up with high blood pressure, they end up with diabetes, they end up with cancer. It's actually proven because you hold all that energy inside. Like we're literally spiritual beings in a body. Like our spirit is our body takes the form of our spirit. It's not the other way around. So we very much have control of our bodies. Like our bodies aren't the ones who are in control of us. So if something's happening in the physical, it's because it happened in spiritual first. And it's going to take some time before it gets to the physical. So which is why the intervention, there's time for intervention. There's time to get on it if you're really in tune with yourself and you pick it up when it happens inside. Because it takes a long time before it expresses itself. But last year, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, all these years that I've been having stress and I've been anxious and depressed, it makes sense. So I'm having health issues this year. Right. It makes sense. So I had to go on a whole physical healing journey, which was probably the hardest thing in my life. I thought emotional healing was hard. Physical healing was hard. It was hard. Because it's like, it had to pay attention to what I put into my body, how I worked out. I had to change everything. Everything. Because I went to a holistic doctor and everything that I was doing, I had to change it. And it just was like, Jesus Christ. Like, I had ready to do something else last year. Now I'm on this journey.
Right when you thought you were done?
Literally, boom, I'm starting again. And then other things that I didn't realize emotionally, like self-love. Like, I didn't realize that was still something that I need to work on until last year when I was going through stuff physically. My physical body, and I'm like, ooh. Because why did my self-love start to, waver when I was experiencing physical changes? It's like I didn't really truly love myself, so that was something that I had to deal with too. So it was just a lot. It was like a lot. Layers and layers. So literally. So would you say you got to a spiritual healing or physical, emotional?
Not in I don't think I've gotten spiritual yet, but physical wise, I'm an athlete, and is it healing though? And I gotta really you feel me? Because I really be you feel me, trying
what sport do you play?
I play football. Hi, how you doing? Anyway, for sure though. So I be trying to maintain a healthy diet, but I be finding my desires. Okay, that's the word I'm looking for. My cravings, And it's during season is really simple. Eat right, protein, blah blah blah. You feel me? That's the easy part. But in the off season, where the real work was start, I be, messing off. That's the word I want to use. And you know, not doing it, but you know, you gotta lock in mentally. Like, so anyone who has those troubles as well, like you just gotta lock in mentally. I feel like you just gotta understand the bigger picture and what you put in your body. Like you young now, so you feel like you get away with it, but like deep down, later on down the line, it's gonna catch up, bro. And you just gotta think ahead, I guess. But I don't think I've gone through anything major, like spiritually or physically yet as yet. So yeah, I'm blessed for that. So yeah.
Do you feel like that's something that you should be looking into going, or like
What?
you just like in a phase where it's like it's just
What you
if
mean,
it
like-
comes, it comes. Because you know some people like seek healing. They're like, dang, I need
Okay.
to like heal, and then there's some people like healing like hits them. It's just like, oh, healing came. And, you know, I
Yeah, I don't think I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna flaw it. Like I don't go looking for it.
Mhm.
Like I don't go sitting there like I need to heal. Like, and that's probably another problem I have for me, and that's for somebody to tell me outside looking in because I can't see it. That I feel like I'm good. I feel like I'm in a good space. You feel me? With most of things in life, you feel me?
Mhm.
Yeah, the mental sometimes you know you gotta always work on that because every day it comes, every day out. But like as far as like spiritual and like physical, like I feel like I'm in a good space right now.
So do you think that can also birth complacency?
What does that mean?
So complacency, like just being comfortable where you're at and not seeking to grow
That makes
anymore.
sense.
Like you're just like, all right, I'm good now, so let me just stay where I'm at right
I
now.
don't feel like that's my character.
Mhm.
I feel like you know me enough to like know that's not my character. Like,
Mhm.
but I feel like in other areas though, like you feel me. Right now I'm good because I got a roof over my head, but that's not what I want to be at.
Mhm.
So now I gotta grind harder to put myself in another position. So in those other areas, I feel like I could be more, you know, involved in myself and really like sit down, talk to myself like, are you really good for real? Or you just, you know, distracting yourself. So I feel like that's something I could do and work on, but that's, you know, when that time comes. For sure.
So you're the person who just lets healing come to you. You're not gonna go seek for healing.
I mean, if it comes to me, God, you feel me, God willing, I'll accept it. I'll go through that process. But I don't think I've ever went out my way to sort out something's wrong with me. I'm finna go heal.
Yeah.
I feel like that's another reason I don't like think I go to therapy. Like, you feel me? Y'all push therapy, but like I don't feel like I need it. But you know, some people say that and they actually need it. But you know,
I think you're talking to yourself.
I'm talking to them that look up to me. I gotta make sure they bored. Don't let me stop you, please.
I'm crying.
For sure, man. You feel like you've been you taking part in any other or you taking part in those other healing factors, you know, spiritual, physical.
I think they all like go hand in hand like a braid.
Okay.
One thing I realized, because I know when I started my healing journey, I thought it was like okay, this is a little season, a couple months, and then it's done. But then I realized like healing is a lifetime journey.
For sure.
Because going back to like the definition of healing, which means like, you know, being restored to where you were once. We live in a world where it's like you're always gonna have opposition, you're always gonna come across pain, hurt. So it's like when that happens, here's the start of a new healing journey for you to heal from that opportunity. So it's not like nothing like one and done and then all right, I'm good. And going back to like how you said like you feel like you don't need therapy.
Okay.
I also like I never really cared for therapy, right? And it's like even now I still haven't been to therapy yet, but I'm looking for a therapist. Not because I think like, oh my gosh, I got serious problems, but it's like, dang, like to grow in wisdom, because you never really know for real. It's like, okay, let's see why I am this way. And if I am, you know, as good as I think I am, but I know some people push therapy a lot, but I want people to like go to therapy for the same reasons that they think they need it.
Exactly.
And then for wisdom.
Yeah.
Because we also live in a world where like they make you question how you are and why you are when you are perfectly like okay, like just because you're not the same as the person next to you don't mean like you need to heal from that to become like that.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody still has their own like ideal identity. If it's really not unhealthy, then you know keep it pushing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I
That's
agree.
right.
That's true.
I already called her.
Right?
For sure.
Book coming soon. Author
Okay.
Dika.
Diary of
The
Evangelist.
baddest.
I do have an
Yeah.
Instagram page
Really?
called Diary of Evangelist.
Okay, oh my gosh, tell us.
So yeah, that's basically where I write like, you know, thinking out loud posts. I do devotionals, so it's like what I take from like reading the Bible or like reading things or how I observe how people interact, and I like talk about like my perspective and stuff. So you guys should definitely check it out.
Okay.
It's pretty good. I also talk about my healing journey,
Okay.
and I'll sometimes put like real life like diary entries that I put that I feel like could help people.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think that's, oh my gosh, that's awesome. Because I wanted to like, you know, be that vulnerable, but I have not gotten close because I'm still uncomfortable with my like journey, if that makes sense. So that I'm still not ready to like put that out there. But I think that's like such a courageous thing to do because it's like,
Part of healing.
it is like, yo,
And that's
like,
the only reason I started, because like I said, anybody didn't know me, I don't cry. I don't be talking about feelings. I be like, bro, I'm good. Because I really be feeling like, you know,
I'm okay.
Feeling like
I
you
be feeling like I'm good for real. And then everything hits you. It's like, whoa.
Out of nowhere, it's like a big slap, like a big in the face. You're
But
just like,
being vulnerable like really heals, and it's crazy you said that because in my bio I put I'm no superhero, but I'm choosing vulnerability as my power.
that's awesome.
Because like vulnerability really is power. When you're like, when you could be like 100% like raw with yourself, and then people around you, like nothing could come like to you because you know who you are and you gonna stand on it, and people gonna feel how they feel regardless. So it's like, why let that face you? You feel me?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really deep. And literally, like me and my therapist, that's the thing that we're just still working on is vulnerability. She's
And
just
you're
like,
gonna get there.
I will. I know I'm going to. It's just time, you know, time and place. I just feel like because one of the things, I guess, I'm not going to label it as a trauma because it's not a trauma, but one of my coping mechanisms, because I feel like I had to be there for myself emotionally. I didn't really have anyone to really cater to my emotions, or like, you know, if I was ever sad or anything, I didn't have anyone who was just like, why are you sad? Like, are you okay? Talk to me about this. Like, I didn't have anybody to do that to me. So I've had to like heal by myself in that like sense. And so I didn't know what healing was when I was growing up. So what I would do is I just picked up the rug, just shoved that in there. I was like, all right, sadness, you don't know. All right, someone said, what? Someone said something to me? All right. And then also, too, I was so angry as a kid. What? I was so angry. And the crazy thing is, I learned this in school and in therapy, is like anger is not a real emotion. It is literally a second emotion. It's like a secondary emotion. So anger presents itself to protect you. But you're really not protecting nothing because deep down inside, you're sad, you're hurt, you feel like, you know, disrespected. There's another emotion. Anger presents itself as like, you know, the macho, because we're humans. Like we want to present ourselves like, yeah, I got this, like you ain't hurt me, whatever, so I'm gonna be angry at you. But no, deep down inside, it's like, no, you've hurt me. Right? It's like, right? Because you hurt me. Exactly. Like you're angry because you're hungry.
And then you gotta talk to that little person and you like, you know, it's okay.
Exactly.
Like, that's how you, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, not negate, but it's another word, but like, say somebody's angry at you. Don't get angry back, because like, it's just going to be an angry war. But if you soften yourself, you be the bigger person, then that little person, you know, you was just talking about, then they going to talk to themselves. Like, yeah, there's no need to raise my voice. Then we can just top it up. So I feel like if you having trouble, you know, like talk to the camera, people out there, you feel me? Like, people in your life, you don't gotta just like argue. I feel like when you take it there, then it's like, yeah, you wanna express yourself. It's like, listen, communicate. You feel me? Y'all gonna eventually understand where the other person coming from.
You said something that's important. Listening. No one knows, like, listening is an art. To listen to somebody is an art.
You have to have
Patience. And I read a book. This was like I took this like self-development course at FIU. And one of the like lessons was like actively listening to people. The difference between listening and hearing somebody. It's like, I hear you, but I'm not listening to what you're saying. If someone's talking to you and you're already thinking about what you're going to say to what they're saying, you're not listening. You're hearing them. You're not listening. Because if you listen to somebody, you're receiving the information, and you're going to, and it's helpful to repeat back to them what they said to you so that you're both on the same page. Because that's how communication gets lost. Because when I'm hearing somebody, right, I'm hearing them through the ears of my trauma, through my personal, you know, like problems, Maybe I don't like when people yell at me. So if someone immediately raises a little bit of an octave, I get defensive. So I'm already on like, guard, ready to like buck if someone like, does something. But like, so that's why it's important to sit down, listen to what they're saying, say it back to them to see if we're both on the same page. That's how you effectively communicate. And literally, communication starts with listening. It's listening, communicate, and then comprehension. So those three things, like, you really, really need it. And like, people don't listen for real nowadays. Like, that's one of like, people always tell me like, you really listen to what I'm saying. Well, yeah, because I hope that I'm showing you how I want to be treated, right? But at the same time, I have a problem where I expect me out of people. And so that's another thing that I have to like heal from, unlearn. It's like, not everyone is like you, right? But then because I'm like, I just feel like we all should just be that. Like, why can't we all be like that?
I always tell people that, I be like, the only reason you think I'm too nice or like too is because not everybody in the world is like that. But if everybody was super nice listening, we would live in harmony.
Would we?
Yes.
Why wouldn't we?
I don't know. I just feel like it's a level of human in us that wants us to be different. So like, if everyone's perfect, there's gonna be just some
rebels, some
rebels.
I know.
That's the truth of it. Like,
You feel me? But that's real now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if we all were to just adapt those, skills,
I feel
listening to people,
listening,
understanding,
only half the battle.
It is half of it.
Because you gotta comprehend, dog. Because like, I could listen to you, but if I'm not understanding you, it goes back to you feeling like I'm just hearing you. Whole time I'm trying to understand you, but like, it comes off I'm hearing you because I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because I've never been in your shoes, so I don't really, you feel me? Now it's like, what do I say?
But then that's why you just have empathy for the person, right? Like, someone doesn't have to go through the same thing as you to have to be empathetic towards you. You can be able to understand how someone feels without having to be in their shoes.
Okay.
And so that saying where people, because I used to say too, like, oh, nobody's going to understand me. No, everyone's capable of having empathy. If you're human, you are capable of experiencing or understanding other people's emotions. We all have the same emotional capacity because we're all created in God's image. We all were created with these emotions. We're all created with heart. We're all created with this. So if we're all created with this, then we're all capable of having empathy towards people. So just because, I may not have experienced, the same, we may not have the same trauma, but I can still empathize for you because I understand. Because I'm in a place where I have, right? Even though like you may be at a loss, but I have, because I can tap in and imagine if I lost that, then I can empathize with you. You can like put yourself in that person's shoes. So people who lack the ability to put themselves in another person's shoes, I'm like, you're just like, you're wicked. Like, you're dead evil. Like, for real. I really pray for you at night because it's just like, wow, like that's so inhumane to not be able to step into someone's shoes. And it's just like, some people do it because of a pride thing, but it's like, no, drop your pride. That's how we can all live in a harmony together. Like, it doesn't take much to empathize with someone. All it takes is for you to step in their shoes and be like, man, that's why now I'm able to sit and watch a show from scratch. She lost her husband. I'm crying. I don't even have a husband. Spoiler alert.
I think that has to do with like hurt people.
Yeah.
Because like, even those people that are inhumane, like, they're inhumane because they need healing. Going back to the definition of healing, which is restoring back and going back to who you are. Who are you? You're human.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, before you were a teacher, before you were a boy, girl, like, you're human. You have feelings. That's how God created us to be. And if you're not in tune or like understand why you are the way you are, why you feel the way you are, you're just like an interact with
exactly.
People,
That's true. That's true. And that's why healing is important, because you have to heal yourself to be able to understand, other people and be able to even be in community with people. My thing is like, because I think I'm like I'm 21. I'm at a place where I'm so self-aware of myself. And I've developed a self-awareness. So when I meet people who don't have self-awareness, it's like, what is wrong with you? Like, I know what is wrong with me. So like, why do you not see what is wrong with you at all? Like, Julie. I'm just
kidding. You see me? I'm in tune with my emotions.
Okay, exactly.
So I know how to like a lot of people would have took that the wrong way
like
though.
A trauma response, like,
for real though, be safe. Be safe, like, be for real though, like people around me will tell you like, I'm in tune. Like you don't really see me mad for real. Like you won't really see me like snapping back, taking things to the heart. Cause I'm gonna let the people like, you feel me? Cause hurt people if you allow them to. Why I can't, if you hurt and you trying to hurt me with your words, and I could just cancel that out by, understanding who I am, being in tune with myself and knowing what I am and knowing my worth. So you try to come, I give you another point of view on that instead of just allowing that person to hurt you. Then, like we just talked about, going back and forth with somebody, just being cool, understanding. So I feel like a lot of things don't really get to me for real, in a sense.
That's good.
So I'm healed in that aspect.
And most of the time, like how people like interact with you has nothing to do with you.
That's true.
Yeah.
And more so to do with like what's going on with the person in turn.
Projection.
Yeah.
Like people be mad because they're mad at themselves and they're
Exactly.
taking it out on you.
Yeah.
Like the people that treat you the best are people that you could tell like, dang, you have a good amount of self-love in you.
Yeah.
And we live in a lot of people don't forgive themselves.
Exactly.
And they don't realize like the importance of like forgiving yourself and then
That's
moving
right.
with grace. It's like, bruh, yeah, you did that, but it's already done. You gotta keep it pushing. You gotta give yourself grace, forgiveness.
Yep. That's a part of it. That's part of the healing journey.
Self-forgiveness is deep, bro. Because we feel like we take a lot of the blame for certain things that go in our lives, bro. So we just be like, dang, it's my fault. And you start overthinking about yourself and how you feel me. And that's how you down the self-love. But if you just, you feel me, just forgive. Like, understand, like, you made a mistake. We human. We can do that. And then moving on, understanding, learning. So, yeah.
I think there's two top people that you have, or like groups of people that you have to learn to forgive.
Yeah.
It's learn to forgive yourself and then learn to forgive your parents. Because a lot of things, at least for me, I found myself blaming my parents because I'm just like, you didn't prepare me for this. You didn't equip me for the things that I'm facing in my life right now. So I don't want to blame you. But then when I sit back and dissect where they come from or what they experienced in childhood, they're only giving what they have on the inside, right? And so when I get that, then I'm able to, forgive them. I'm not exempting them because you know better, right? Like you reach a point where we all make choices. Yeah. So I'm still going to hold you by your choice, but I'm able to show you grace because I'm like, I get it. You weren't even given, you were dealt a certain cards and you played the game the best that you can. It's like we all get Uno cards and we're all playing. And if someone wins, they won because they played the best that they could with their cards, with their card. And even if you lose, it doesn't mean that you didn't play your best. You played your best with your dealt, with the cards that you were dealt. So
that's a good analogy.
Yeah, so I feel like we just have to forgive our parents and then also to forgive ourselves. Like forgive ourselves because we also too, we're not equipped with the tools, equipped with the knowledge, with the things that we're able to, or like learning now, like we weren't equipped with those things. So forgiving ourselves. And then moving with grace, like you said, like moving with grace. I'm tapping more into like moving grace because I'm like, I need to be a feminine girl. Like I was just operating in such a masculine mentality and energy because I feel like I did this by myself. I had to like heal by myself and tend to my emotions by myself. So I was operating in a masculine energy, whereas now like I'm healing, I'm still healing, and I'm like, I'm going to be more feminine. I'm going to try to like move with grace, move with compassion, move with empathy, nurture people. So like I feel like that also has helped with my healing journey. It's just trying to be more woman-like. That has helped too. I was like, think like a lady. What a lady
going back to your natural state.
Exactly. So that's exactly what I've been doing. Trying to just go back to that because I'm a lady at the end of the day. I'm trying to be nice, I'm trying to be a wife one day, and I can't be a wife if I'm still operating in masculine energy. No man wants, two men can't live in the same place. No shade, but two men can.
Topic for another day.
What are you gonna say, Kelly?
I just feel like there's nothing wrong with being not alpha, but like being like knowing your worth. I
know my worth.
Being like it ain't really being like masculine. It's just like you understand where you are in life and what you've done to get there. So there is no need to lower yourself if the person not elevating themselves.
Of course.
That makes sense. If they're not giving you alpha energy, why am I trying to be feminine to them?
For sure.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I understand.
In some cases, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a matter of like lowering yourself, but like I think it's walking more in the feminine energy. It's not that we're lowering ourselves, but we're lowering our how we say it. Because I feel like she says, I'm independent, da da da. If she was walking in her masculine energy, she would have to make she would feel like it's a need to let you know, like, yeah, I'm independent, da da da. Like, I'm in your face.
Yeah.
But when you're in your feminine energy, it's like, I know I am. That's what I am. And you gonna see it, and I don't gotta say it. And it's a lot more peaceful because when you're in your masculine, like, you're like, dang. Now you're thinking, did they get the image? Did they like hear me? Do they see me? Do they understand? Like this, that, and the third. It's either they do or they don't, baby. And if they don't,
just keep it pushing. Exactly.
Just keep it pushing.
That's very true. Like operating in a masculine, it forced me to be in a position where I need you to hear me. I need you to hear me, see me, and understand me. And if you don't, I'm gonna get louder and louder and louder and louder. Exactly. And is a problem.
That's the problem.
That is the problem. And
especially. Like female versus guys are so like this, like so nonchalant, exactly. And you tell the dude, you're gonna
exactly,
it's gonna go crazy,
exactly. And I noticed that it is intimidating. Like I've had my share of experiences when it comes to like the dating, the dating field, and I feel like men really got intimidated when I would like talk like that. Like they're just like, okay, well, I'm clearly not good enough for you.
I don't even speak for myself.
Yeah, you can't only speak for yourself.
So that's why I had that reaction just now.
Right.
If a woman come to me in that type of time, like I'm gonna tell her what I bring to the table as well. So it's like we could both coexist. I feel like I would never I don't know, bro. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I'm that one girl that be like, no, we can't coexist because I do this. And I do this, and I do this, and the list goes on.
Still not understanding what I'm saying.
Exactly.
But that's also real too. Like you really could, like that goes back to like saying how it's like you don't have to fix everything about you. Like there's some things you're that way like for a reason.
That's true.
It's okay if you're not harming yourself or harming others in doing that.
That's
then
true.
Walk in that. But I'm pretty sure you felt like you were harming yourself and others when you're walking in that tone. So she looked like, no, I don't want to be that. You feel me?
Because I would be like a little bit too aggressive. Like I was just a tad bit aggressive, and I was a tad bit angry, snapping at people for no reason, like talking crazy, like even anybody who went to school with me, like me today, me back then, it's just two different people. Because the way I handle things now, I just have to laugh. But back then, I would like, you ain't up, just. And then probably even want, like, trying to, yes. So, Wreck-It Ralph, literally, that was me. It was like, walking to school, this like, it was coming, calm down, like, type. It's like, don't mess it up. Exactly. And it didn't help, I went to school with a bunch of white kids, so they were definitely scared.
Oh, wow.
Definitely scared. Angry black women, very much gave that. So, exactly.
She's crazy.
Literally. They was real life scared, and it's just like I didn't want that.
End up fighting you?
I was close. I came close. I came close several times. But then they would always be like, "I'm sorry." It's just like, okay, that's what I thought, because like, what's good? I'll tell you a story. I even told somebody. I told somebody off for stepping on my shoes by accident. That's how I knew, like, nah, I need help.
Because it's like, dang, you gotta heal. Like, I'm not so mad.
I step on my shoes. Exactly.
Serious,
and then
now it goes to ego, pride. Why do I have such a big ego? Why do I have such a big pride? Like, it's literally like it be little stuff,
little things
that's like deeper than it really is.
Exactly. Because my thing is, they didn't know what I went through to get those shoes. So for you to step on them, you disrespected me. I'm taking it personal.
The hard work.
Literally, I snapped. I was just like, yo, does it say welcome on my shoes? Like, why are you stepping on like I'm a bad? Like, yo. He was like, I'm sorry, my bad. No, you're not sorry. Walk properly. He's always
sorry. Be careful.
Be careful. It's not saying
Dad, sorry.
It was like, you're not sorry. You're not. You stepped on me. Now look.
Try to step on you.
They were not. And me, that hurt me. That really hurt me. That really hurt me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really hurt me. I worked hard for that money. Are you kidding me? I bought shoe. I bought it.
I went to work 8 hours.
What? All my Christmas money, my birthday money that my grandparents would give me, I saved it and I bought me shoes. Because mind you, like my, growing up, like we didn't have a lot, so my parents were not able to like, get me the nicest shoes or like the brand newest shoes, like the Jordans, stuff like that. Like we would go to, Ross or even Walmart sometimes to get like shoes for school. But I'm just like, if I'm in middle school and high school, I can't go to school with no FUBU or with K-Swiss. I need to get Jordan. So I literally had to go with myself to what's it called, Foot Locker, and buy me shoes. So when people step on, I'm just like, you are so disrespectful. You do not know where I come from. Like, you're to step on these things have to stay clean for the rest of my life. This is the only shoe that I have right now. Like, yo, I took it personal, and I didn't want to keep doing that because they all like would walk around like they would like watch what they say around me or watch, and it makes people uncomfortable. So. Yeah. Do the unplug moment, the unplug moment question.
Unplug.
Unplug. Unplug moment. The question. The question is, how have you navigated through your own personal trauma?
Ladies first.
You gotta go. Well, I went through like self-awareness, and then I brought it to God. I went to prayer because I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So self-awareness, prayed, and then I really let like God lead me by like intuition, you know, stuff like that. And I used to like, I love Google. I'm gonna figure out what's wrong with me. I feel like this, da 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 da. And then like I'll learn from that. And again, I study psychology, so it's like a mix with that too. And just applying all of that daily.
Awesome.
Okay.
You?
With me, it was a little something similar. I ain't gonna lie. Like self-awareness, but like by self-awareness, I mean like just understanding the bigger picture. And like, I also pray, talk to God every morning. I talk to God every night. I talk to God, like, at my own time. You feel me? So I do that as well. That allowed me to to get that. I feel like I'm more vulnerable when I'm talking to God with myself. So that little piece right there, that little space right there with me, that allowed me to see the bigger picture and heal from that as well. And then I also I don't major in psychology. I minor in psychology, so kind of pick my brain, pick other people's brains, see if they're going through the same thing as me, and learn from others as well. So that's another way I did that.
Good.
What about you, Miss Mel?
Similar. So the first thing I did, sought out therapy. Second thing that I did was prayed. But my prayer to God was kind of like strange because it was more so because in the same time while I was healing, I was going through like my own personal I guess shakiness in my faith. So my prayer to God wasn't like guide me to what I need to do. It was more so like heal me, please. Because at this point I don't know if you are going to, because I've been going through this for so long. I'm like, at this point, like, if you haven't healed me yet, like, you must not care because there's just no way. So that was more so what my prayer sounded like when it wasn't like I wasn't, like, I didn't have like an assurance, like, yeah, he's going to help me. It was more like, hello, like, do you hear me? Because I'm going on 20 years old and I'm still hurting. So if you can shed your hand on me, please. And I even went as far as like, Lord, if you heal me, you can have me. Simple. If you heal me, you can have me. I will follow your word. I will do everything, but heal me, please, because I can't. So that was more so my prayer to God. And then after that, just listening to a lot of podcasts. That literally like saved my life. Like just, I mean, you name it, I was listening to it. Podcasts, sermons. I'm really into this guy right now, Tim Ross. He says some really, really, really good stuff on his podcast, and it's just like raw and it's like straight to the point. Yeah. I'm like, yes, I need someone who's like that. What else do I do? And then just developing a lot of self-care. So like just a lot of moments where I'm just relaxing and allowing myself to relax, because again, like I said earlier, like my most depressed moments, I was the most successful. So I'm used to like pushing through. So now I had to unlearn that and just sit and relax and allow me to feel those things. So that has been a way that I've like dealt with trauma or like healed or furthered my healing through my traumas. So I think there's like a basis to we all kind of had like similar answers.
What's some advice that you would give to those people that like feel the same way that you did in those prayers, where it's like, dang, I've been like this for like 20 years, God, like, are you gonna do something or not?
Yeah. Some advice that I would give is that even though, you know, what you've gone through is crazy and you may feel like God's hand wasn't over you, his hand was. Know that he was there. He's omnipresent, so he was there. And even though it feels like it's the worst thing that could have happened, but even in the worst things that happen, God still allows them to be the best things for you, if that makes sense. It's kind of crazy, but it's just true. It's like the craziest thing that happened to you in your life, it builds you to be, it's setting you up for the purpose that he wants you to do. Mm-hmm. So I genuinely feel like my purpose in life directly aligns with like motivation and talking with people and very much having conversations about these things. And so I feel like I wouldn't be able to have conversations if I didn't go through anything. Right. So I feel like that was just the thing that I had to come to understand. It was like what he made me go through wasn't to break me. And oh my God, now that I say that, like it brings me back to, I was working at a hotel. And I was working the late shift, the 3 to 11 shift. And this was around the time when I was just like praying, like, God, like what in the world? Like I've been going through this for years. I just kind of feel alone and da da da. And I'm literally like because we have like the reception desk, and there's two. So I was standing to the one on the right hand side. And I'm just like, you know, I'm just standing, not really thinking about anything. And then this guy, he comes to like get a key remade. So he asks me if I can remake his key. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll remake your key. So while I'm remaking the key, he's like, you know what you went through. It wasn't to break you, right? You know, it was to build you for your purpose. Mm-hmm. And I looked at him and I'm just like, my eyes started watering. You know, just like, he's like, I'm sorry if I weirded you. I said, I just came from like a 21 day fast. I've been in the hotel room and just praying. So I just feel like really like compelled to tell you right now, like what you went through when you were younger was not meant to break you. It was to mold you and build you. And I was just like, yo, talk about God is not real. I was like, all right, I heard you, God, thanks. And then he went on and on and on and on. He was just like, you have a powerful like anointing on your life, and I need you to like rest in that, like understand that. Like if there's anything else that you like, if there's anything that you're questioning, don't question that. Like you do, like you're doing the right thing. And he was just like, you're not gonna stay here forever, just so you know. Because I was working at the hotel, and I was just like, you know, like just trying to figure out everything. He's like, you're not gonna stay here forever. Like this season, this too shall pass. Like it's gonna be over soon. And I'm like, yo. And then we finished the conversation, and he leaves, and then he comes back, and he's just like, you see, that's how I know. He's like, when God tells you to do something, you have to do it. He's like, why did I just find my key in my pocket? And I was just like, wow. So he's like, God wanted me to talk to you. So in that moment, he didn't allow me to find my key, but the whole time it was in his pocket. And literally, like, just goosebumps. I was just like, yo.
Guys,
so, yeah, guys, whenever you need an answer from God, he's going to give it to you. He'll send somebody, like, straight. I've never seen this person. Like he said, he was in a room locked up for 21 days. He just finished his fasting that day. And he just so happened to, you know, be walking. And he was trying to get his key, couldn't find it. The whole time it's in his pocket. I'm like, wow, what a freaking coincidence. But, man, like, yeah. So that is my advice to people.
And what, like, led you to keep praying, like, when you felt like that as well?
Just because, like, I knew, because I grew up in the church, so I knew, like, God had to be real. I've seen what he has done for others. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, Lord, if you can do it for them, you can definitely do it for me. Like, and then I would also, I'd be like, God, like, I don't even do, like, all I want is peace. Like, I don't even want nothing else for real, like, just peace. So I just kept praying for that. And then I also listened to a podcast where they were saying, like, sometimes you have to walk in something as if you already have it, like it's already done. So walk in a mindset that you are healed, that you are this, that you are that. So I started just walking in that and just speaking that, like I'm not completely healed, but I'm healing. Like I'm good. Like I'm going to get better. My situation's not going to be like this forever. And I'll just speak positive words over myself and over my life, and then start framing my brain, because essentially what you think is what happens in reality, right? Like our words frame our reality, and it's true, because God created this whole entire world with one word. So our words are powerful. If we're created in his image, our words are powerful. And even says in the Bible, your life and death is in the tongue. So if you say, like, I'm so depressed, I'm so sad, I'm so this, I'm never gonna do something, it's gonna keep going. You're gonna keep reliving it. So I just have to switch my mind, switch my mindset, switch the way that I talk to myself. Just how I viewed life too.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, I'm still kind of like still working on not trying to see things as like a negative, but because my brain is so trained to see the negative first, but I try to see the positive. Like, what, God allowed me to go to this because he wanted me to know like this is possible, or whatever the case may be. Like just reframing it and just finding confidence in that. And I think time after time, God has shown me that he's here. Just little things. And I'm like, you know what? Yes, you're real, God. And I understand that. And I thank you for that. And even though I may not feel like I'm at the best place or where I need to be, but I'm headed there. Very much far from where I came from. So you're working in me, So.
That's powerful. Yeah. That's powerful.
But I just encourage everyone to just at least give it a try. Like, what do you have to lose if... Worst case scenario, God isn't real, right? Like, worst case scenario is that we don't go anywhere. We don't do any, or like, whatever. But it's just hard to even think that, because just the simple fact, like our intuition. Sometimes you feel something and you're like, if it was me, I wouldn't be able to come up with this or be able to feel this. So there has to be someone higher than myself. Whether you want to give him a name or whatever the case may be, but everyone can at least acknowledge that there's somebody higher than themselves. Because even with like this like I guess even with like celebrities or just people that we see on social media, I've just, at least for me, maybe it's just my For You page has been catered to what I like to see. But I've just been seeing a lot of youth, a lot of like celebrities, just a lot of people going back to God, because understanding like there is somebody higher than themselves. We all are acknowledging that there is someone who is higher than us that we need to look up to and draw from. So I think that's the first step. Like, you just do that and just keep praying, and then live in love, do everything in love. That's so important. That is a commandment God gave to us. Do everything in love. And it's so important, because literally you do everything in love, you're going to get love. You're going to receive so many things. Your life is going to be blessed because you're literally operating in that love, in that, I guess, vibration, what some people call it.
I think that's one of like a big thing, at least for me in my healing journey, like really understanding how much God loves me and how he sees me. Because it's like you said, like when you acknowledge that there is a greater power, like God created us here, and a lot of the things that we've gone through, like the hurt, the pain, at the root of it all, we're longing for something to fill that void, and the only person, the only thing that could fill it is God. So it's like that's the foundation of it. So know God, y'all.
If there's anything that you do, just know him. And Tim Ross said this. He was like, God sounds like the Bible, sounds like the word. So you want to know what God sounds like? You want to know if your intuition is right? If you hear the Holy Spirit, read your Bible. You don't have to read don't go too crazy with it, but like just, I try to tell myself that, like, you just one day at a time. One day at a time.
God is going to meet you right where you're at.
Exactly. There's no need to like try to do backflips, try to like speak in tongues or anything. Like, just relax, one day at a time. Even if you start with Genesis 1 verse 1, in the beginning God created the heavens and earth. Even if you just read that, or you read just simple verses, if you do devotionals that are just the daily verses that are sent to your phone, but just start with getting familiar with the word, because you'll become familiar with the voice of God and what it sounds like. So he sounds like his word and the promises that he said in his word. He's never changing. The same thing that he did back then, he's going to do it again today and forevermore. So that is literally the biggest advice that I can give to anyone. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and plug back in to the conversation.
Okay.
Right? So just our last point of the day of this conversation in healing, we talked about, going to therapy and addressing, our hurts and stuff like that. There's another part of like the healing journey that we also don't talk about enough. It's like self-care. So how are some things, or what are some things that you do that are self-care, that would fall under the category of self-care, and that has helped you in your healing journey?
For me, I'm gonna say like unplugging from social media. I'll like deactivate my IG for like 3 ways, 6 ways, and then come back. Because I feel like being on social media so much, like subconsciously, like clouds like what I'm trying to do and how I want to do it. As much as you tell yourself like you're not looking up to, like, it's all stored, and now you have so many different filters. Also, like, sometimes disconnect from like my friends. I genuinely love people, so I love being around people. But then I also realize, like, part of healing, like, I am a tad bit like a people pleaser. So I'm not as nice as I really think that I am, and sometimes I be needing like space. Where people like, bro, like, bye. So I do that. I like to watch movies, you know, sit in my room, just do stuff. I like to do nothing.
Yeah.
Because going back to like where you're saying like you're high functioning, sometimes I'm like so high functioning, like it feels so good to just sit down and think. Yes. Yeah. And then know like God isn't judging me because I'm not doing nothing. He loves me. Yeah. Right where I'm at. I don't gotta worry about putting a performance for nobody. I'm just sitting out.
Yep. Relax.
Go take me a nap. Wake up. Eat. Take another nap. And then we're gonna go back to, you know, our regular scheduled programming.
Yep. I love that. I think that's important.
That's real. I appreciate the feedback. But nah, though, for me though, it's very simple. Like I fall in love with ball. Like, you feel me? That's my piece. Every time I'm down, you guys, anybody, like, that's something I can do all day. I don't need no food, I don't need no drink, no nothing. I could just play ball, you feel me, at my grown age. So it's like, that's one thing I do for me. Like, every time I'm down, to go throw a football or something, you feel me? Another thing for me, believe it or not, like, I like to write poems and stuff. I don't got a whole blog, like, right here. But, you feel me, I write down a little something for me, how my mind running, you feel me, just let the words, you know, come out. And, music do it for me too. I like to shoot down. Like, I like the type of person like listen to rap and like, but like when I'm in that space, like I calm down. I just listen to instrumentals or like soft music, like R&B, something slight. You feel me? That's not too crazy. That's not too violent. And just let my mind ease. So that's my self-love care type.
I love that for you, June.
I appreciate that.
I love that for the both of you.
Okay.
I very much can relate to you, Dyka, because when I tell you I enjoy doing nothing now, I don't like going out anymore. Like sometimes I'm like, it's random and it's sudden when I'm like, oh, I want to go out. But 9 out of 10 nowadays, I'm just like, I just want to be home. Like when I'm done with work, I just want to come home. On the weekends, I just want to come home. I don't want to do anything. I want to relax. Also too, I enjoy getting my nails done and getting my feet done. Like that's just also like a self-care thing for me. Just laying down and getting pampered and just, it feels good. And getting my hair done. So very much like feminine things I like. I also like working out. So anytime I'm like stressed, just go hit and run. That is one thing that I did heavy during the pandemic. When I came back from work, every day I was outside running a mile. And I would try to and I was just running, and it felt so good. Something about running, that runner's high is so real. Like you're just running and you just feel like, ooh, nothing can catch me right now. Like I feel so good. You're not even focused on none of your problems. I think that's what, like, it's just so addicting, is that your focus is not on what you're currently going through. Your focus is trying to get that mile done. And trying to put in all that energy to running and breathing, because literally exercising, a lot of it is breathing. It's breath work. Because if you don't breathe properly, you'll mess up the whole entire routine. You'll be out of breath too quickly. Like, you mess up the whole thing. But it's in your breathing. And I think that was, like, very interesting for me to see, like, in working out and just running, was just my ability to not just go, just breathe. And I find myself doing that even on the road. People make me mad. Just gotta breathe.
There you go, big dog.
Even my students. Just breathe, literally. To the point they're mocking me now. Now they take breaths, and I'm like, period, you do that because you're gonna remember that when you're older. If something make you mad,
you're gonna need that when you go back.
Exactly right. Take that on with you and teach everybody else at home. But yeah, that's pretty much like my self-care routine, like what I do at home and stuff, or like just in general to help me in this journey.
Breathing to take you a long way. Like breathing, like before every like little bit moment. I learned football because like I play quarterback, so it's like before every play, like the process, everything, I just gotta breathe.
Take a deep breath.
Because it starts with me. So when you hold so much power in other people's, you know, like I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but if you hold like if it starts with you, like whatever you do affect everyone else, you have to make sure you're on point. So when you breathe and you release, understand the assignment in everyday life, I feel like that's gonna take you a long way.
Yep. That's true.
For sure, man. Nice little episode on healing. I hope y'all, enjoy the little show, man. Tap in, self-love, healing. Go listen to her little diary. Go
to therapy.
Yes, go to therapy.
Yeah. Go to therapy.
Go to
cry.
Yeah, cry. Yeah,
Cry.
keywords for this episode. Yeah,
It's okay to cry, man. I cry, so you can cry. You look up to me, right? Right?
right.
For sure.
I hope.
That's real.
Definitely cry, guys. And also, too, guys, the merch is out. So I don't know if y'all saw the new merch, guys. Go ahead and purchase it. The link is live now. You're able to purchase it. Go ahead, just click that link. Go ahead and purchase it. You know, whatever you gotta do right now. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at kxyrenee. Don't forget to follow June.
June X5, man.
Yeah, because he changed it on us, but whatever.
Okay.
And don't forget to follow Daika.
Yeah, Aika Ennis.
Yep, and also the her diary too.
Oh yeah, Diary of Aika Ennis.
Okay, I'm gonna have to type in. Hold on.
Right, for real. Remember that?
Might have to.
Okay.
I'm pull out the phone
Exactly.
right after.
Exactly. And don't forget to follow The Outlet Talk on Instagram, guys. It's been a pleasure. Appreciate you guys for stopping by. Bye.
Yo.